Okay, so back to organizing our model here. I want to look at this level that I put in, which if I look at my 3D model, you can see that there's a drive-through canopy. This guy, I'm going to turn him blue there. That's a drive-through canopy, and I wanted that level to appear, but I don't need it over here on this side of my building, which is the west side. So I'm going to go to that west elevation, just double-click on it to open that view, and notice it is there. And what I could do is just turn off those labels, so I can uncheck the box at each end and the label goes away, but my line is still there. I don't really want that. So I'm going to hover over that, do a right click with my mouse, and on that flyout menu that I get there with the right click, I'm going to change the condition. I'm going to hide in view that element. So just hover over hide in view, click, do a left click, do a move out there and select element, and now that element is gone. I'm going to tile my windows here just to kind of see what's going on. I want to check on things. And so this is the view that I was in, I believe. That's my west elevation. Computer's having a little hard time keeping up with the regeneration here. So let me go ahead and close some views here and retile my windows. I'm using the keyboard shortcut of WT to tile the windows. And what I want to do is make sure that my level lines are coming out the way that I need them to. So like this one in the east elevation needs to be touched up a little bit. Same thing in the south elevation. And the one in the north elevation looks good. That's where I created that. Okay, so I'm going to maximize this one, so I need to work on east and south. So maximize east and zoom in some here. And what's bothering me is that this guy up here is overlapping the building and my labels are way out here at the end. So I'm going to turn off that label. That's an easy first step. Then slide down to this other end, turn that label on. And then I'm going to slide these guys over to the right just a little bit to get them off of my building. And there we go, that's looking better. Then I'm going to go to the south elevation and clean that one up just a little bit. So zoom in on that canopy level, turn on the label at this end, turn off the label at that end, and things look pretty good. Okay, the next exercise here is to go in and play around with my brick thicknesses. And I want to show you what I've got going on to start with. And let me switch over to a 3D view. If you notice, this wall that I've got going on here is a stacked wall. And I did a little video earlier where I showed you how to make that stacked wall. But one of the things that we did in that video is I changed the dimension of the brick material. And so when I go into that stacked wall, let me open it, and I look at this, notice that I've got my walls made up of the various components. So I've got the accent brick on metal stud, and that's my 4-inch heights marching their way up that wall. So I'm going to cancel out of that. I just wanted to see what I was using there. So accent brick on metal stud. And so now I'm going to go and open that wall type. So wall accent brick on metal stud. There we go. And when I go into the editor on that one, I'm going to click on edit type, and then I'm going to click on edit structure, and I'm going to turn on my preview over here, and I'm going to change that to a section view and zoom in on that a little bit. So what I've got going on there is that the brick is 3 1/8. If I look at the other brick, I'm going to find that it's thicker than that. Well, let me cancel back out of this. So what I'm concerned about is this front entry wall, this guy right here. We got a design change, and they decided to make that out of brick to match the accent color. And I had made the accent brick skinny, and they're probably not going to do that for this entire entrance piece. So what I need to do is to duplicate that material so that I can have a wall that is made out of full-size accent colored brick, right? So that's what I'm headed toward. So let me go back to wall. And so my organization here is going to be to take this accent brick on metal stud and to make a second, maybe full size or something like that. We'll rename it something else. So click on that, click edit type, and now I'm going to go into the structure. Oops, got to duplicate it first. So duplicate gives me a chance to rename it. So I'm going to take the number 2 off of it that it automatically put at the end. I'm going to call this full accent brick on metal stud. Then I'm going to go into the structure here by clicking on the edit button next to structure and change that back to 3 5/8, which I believe is our other brick size. We'll go check that in a second. Say OK and OK. Now nothing actually happened because that brick size, that wall type that I just had there, doesn't actually exist in the model. I just made it as we were doing that. So I'm going to zoom in on this and change the wall and see if you can watch what happens here. So here's my stacked wall. This is made out of 2 chunks of wall. The one on the bottom is a CMU on metal stud. The one on the top is the accent brick on metal stud. And I'm going to change it so that the one on top is now going to be the full accent. So edit type. Let me skinny this up a little bit. Edit structure. Now, of course, I can't see the name. There we go. So accent brick is what it is. I'm going to change that to full accent brick and watch what happens. Hopefully, if this all works right, I'm going to have a smooth transition between my brick face and my block face. Say that, say OK, and OK, and there it is. So now I've got a smooth transition. I've got the right size. But if everything worked OK on the other parts of the building, I still have my reveal. That's what I was after. Yep, still got it. I was after this reveal that happens with the accent brick over there. So the strategy is to have 2 different wall types with 2 different thicknesses of brick on them, and that takes care of that situation for us. So we'll stop there and move on to something else in the next video.